Hi friends, my name is Debbie and today we're gonna be painting this easy watercolor beach. So let's get started. We're gonna be using a white crayon. We're just making the foam. So we're pressing on the paper. I previously added the line marks with my pencil. I'm just going on top, making the foam where the sand meets the water. That's gonna be all white, and then I'm making some line marks showing that the water is moving inside the ocean. This area is gonna stay nice and white because the crayon, what it does is gonna repel the paint. So when we're applying the paint, this area is gonna be white. You can also use masking fluid if you don't want to use the crayon. So it's your choice. This is your painting. You get to choose what you like. For me, the crayon was fine. If you don't see it, you can always go sideways on your paper and you're gonna see the wax on top of your paper. Just apply a few more lines here and there. And remember, this is water, so the line marks don't have to be perfect. This is just the movement of the water. We're showing that the water is moving. So that's what the line marks are for. We're just adding a little bit, few more marks. Remember to add where the foam is and halfway of the paper, because that's where the water is moving. Now when you're happy, we're gonna move to the water. So we're gonna wet our paper all the way to where the foam is. We're gonna wet that area and we're gonna start dropping the nice colors that we have. We have some turquoise, we have light green, we have deeper blue, we have ultramarine blue. So we're gonna start off by putting the darker color on the top, and we're gonna work our way all the way to the foam. So we start with the darkest colors on top, putting the darkest green, blues on top, and then we're gonna move to the lighter ones. This is gonna give us a nice gradient, and we're applying the color first, and then we're gonna move our paper to make sure it blends. We don't want no line marks, we just want nice and blending. And as you can see now, you see the crayon marks. The water is moving, actually the paint is moving, so now we're able to see the marks. I'm adding a little bit more of the ultramarine blue on top of the paper. And we're gonna be applying a little bit more of the turquoise. And we're going all the way to where the foam is. We're not moving to the sand, just the water for now. We're applying a little bit and we're gonna move our paper. This is gonna make our paint move around so we won't end up with line marks. So you can move it sideways, you can move it up and down, anywhere you like it. I decided that it needed more color right here on the bottom where the foam is. So I'm just applying a little bit more of the blue, actually the turquoise. Then I'll be adding a little bit more of the greenish color and darker color on top. And you can tap, or you can just brush it. This is gonna blend because the paper is nice and wet, so the paint is gonna move. And it will blend nice and even. That won't be an issue. And these colors are beautiful, as you can see. These blues, we got the lightest one, the darker ones, and it's blending really nice and pretty. Every time you apply more color, you will be able to see the white crayon that you put at first, and you can see the marks on the paper. So this is what is gonna keep our nice foam. And we're gonna dry this layer. Now we're gonna be working on the sand. So for this one, I decided to use yellow ochre, and we're just gonna wet where the sand is gonna be. We apply nice amount of water, make it nice and even. And now we're moving to the yellow ochre. We're gonna put the yellow ochre all the way to where the white foam is supposed to be. You don't have to worry about it because the crayon is gonna stop you from moving the color. But actually we will need some of the yellow color on the water because we want to see, it's like a peekaboo of the sand inside the water. So later on we're gonna be putting a little bit of the yellow ochre inside the water just to show that the sand is underneath. We're making some line marks here. It shows that the water is moving the sand, and that's what I'm putting these line marks and blending it. Every time we apply some color, we make sure we blend it a little bit. We don't want no hard lines. We just want nice and blending colors. Then we're gonna do a second layer for the water. So we're gonna wet our paper again all the way to the white foam. We're wet it with nice and clean water. And we will go back to our colors, the dark blue, the turquoise, and the lightest green. Like I said, we're gonna be adding a little bit of the yellow ochre to where the water is, but just on the edge, because we want to show that the water, you could see through the water, you can see the sand. Just a little bit, not too much. We're not going too far, just on the edge. And then we're applying a little bit more of the turquoise. Then we're moving to the ultramarine blue. And we're gonna be moving to the darkest blue, which is ultramarine blue and Payne's gray. And we're just using the tip of a brush, put in the paint. You're just tapping. Don't worry where you put it, it's fine. Just make sure the darker colors are on top and the lighter ones are towards you. So for this painting, we're working on layers because we want vibrant colors. So we start with the first layer, we let it dry. We're doing our second layer, we're gonna let it dry. We're gonna wet it again, and we're gonna be applying the same colors. So now we're putting the darker blue all the way on top. Just in some areas, we don't want the whole back to be dark. We're just putting some dots here and there. And this is gonna blend because the paper is still wet, pretty wet. And then we're gonna just move the paper around, sideways, up and down. And you stop when you feel comfortable and you see that your painting is looking really nice. Now we're adding a little bit more of the darker color blue. Just a few more touches here and there. We're just tapping the color in some areas. You can put it in any area that you want. This is stress-free painting. We're just having fun. And the colors are looking really nice. Very pretty. They're blending nice and even. We don't have any line marks, which is what we're looking for. And we're just adding a little bit more of the turquoise in the front. And again, we're just moving the paper sideways, up and down, Make sure everything blends. The paint is moving. The paper is wet. So it's looking really pretty. I decided to add a little bit more of the darker color. And I'm just doing the top of my paper. And remember, the darker one is ultramarine blue and Payne's gray. 1550. And just added a little bit more. Again, we're gonna move the paper, make sure it blends nice and even. We're getting some nice gradient. And this is gonna be the final layer. So add a little bit more color. Just do the same thing, add in the color, darker on top, medium colors in the middle, and the lighter ones is gonna be right next to the foam. So we're adding a little bit more color. And then we're gonna let this layer dry. So we're going back to the beach, to the sand. So now we're gonna be adding the shadow to the foam. This is gonna make it look more 3D with the shadow underneath. And we're just putting some brown. We're going around the edge, and then we're gonna use a clean brush and we're gonna blend that line. We don't want no harsh lines. We just want nice and blending and just a little bit of pop of the shadow. So we're going on the color with a clean brush and we're just blending the color. So we're gonna clean our brush and we're gonna put some water. I decided that the sand needed a little bit more pop. So we're gonna weight our sand and then we're gonna apply the same yellow ochre, making some line marks for the movement of the water, moving the sand. And we're just going on top, blending a little bit, but not too much. We want some of the line marks in there. And we're adding a little bit more shadow to the foam. That shadow is gonna make it look even better, more natural, more organic. And we're just adding and blending. Adding a little bit more of the lines for the sand. And remember, every time we add color, we blend it. We're gonna dry it and we're gonna do some splatter with some of the brown. Just take your brush and tap it, and this is gonna make some nice dots that make the sand look like sand. And then we're adding the last layer of the shadow. Again, this is the brown, and we're just adding very little light pink, and we will blend it again. And we're just doing the foam. That's all it needs. The underneath the foam. So it looks like the foam is up. We're gonna be using the bleed proof white for the foam, and we're gonna be doing the dry brush technique. That means you're getting a little bit of the paint and we're just scraping the paper. We're going up and just barely touching the paper, and we're just making the line marks for the foam where the water is moving the water and makes this nice foam inside the ocean. That's what we're trying to create. So with the dry brush technique, this is the best way to make that. And we're just going in different places, different directions. Remember, this is your painting. You can go in any direction you want. You can put as much foam or as little as you want. For me, I like a lot, so I'm gonna be making a lot of line marks here and adding a lot of foam. we just wiggle our brush. This is gonna be the best way to make the foam. Just wiggle your brush and make those line marks. I'm adding some lines for the movement of the water in the front. And I'm just going in different ways. If you don't have bleed-proof white, you can use your wash. That would be a good option too. It will make the nice foam, just like this one right here. And as you can see, this water is looking really nice. It's very, very pretty. And adding some more marks on top. This water is looking really natural. I'm adding a few more marks in some areas, some thicker ones, some skinnier. And if I'm going too fast, don't forget you can always pause the video and you can always go back and replay. We're trying to go as easy as possible. Now for the top part, I decided to make some really thin lines because the water is moving in different directions. So some areas are gonna have skinnier lines than others. So we're just making these tiny little marks with the tip of the brush. And this is gonna make the water look more natural because the foam is not the same thickness everywhere. Some areas are thin, some areas are thicker. So that's what we're trying to make. This is a very simple painting. There's so many ways to paint the ocean, but this is one of them, and this is one of the easiest I know. I tried different techniques, and this is the one I like the most, I think. It's very easy. And then I decided to apply a little bit more of foam on the edge and thicker foam. And then a few more marks inside the ocean. So pretty much this painting is stress-free. We're supposed to be having fun. This is a simple watercolor tutorial. There's not much to it, just making some marks. And you can make them any way you like them. And you can stop whenever you feel like your water looks very natural. So I'm adding a little bit more foam. And we're still doing the dry brush technique. Right now it looks like the water is splashing over here. This ocean is crazy. So then I'm doing a little bit more lines inside the water. I feel like it needed more movement inside, so I'm just putting a few more line marks here and just scraping the paper. Very easy. And there's no rules in how you want to put your lines. They can go anywhere you like. So don't forget to subscribe to this channel. give this video a like. Right now we're gonna be removing the tape. Make sure you go nice and easy so we don't peel off the paper. And this is it. So thank you so much for watching, and I will see you on my next video, friends. Take care. Bye bye.